I welcome Mr. Ruturaj R. Maswekar, a PhD, Research Fellow, National Institute of Health, NIH, that is Bethesda, Maryland, USA. My dear friends, it is our great opportunity. Alumni from the Kolhapur. He did his biotechnology after the 12th class in Kolhapur itself. He went through the GATE exam. He did the entire career in the USA and he is doing a wonderful work in society now. So take this opportunity to learn from him, to get inspiration from him, so that you can also get motivated to do your a best career in your future. Okay, so I once again request our principal sir to welcome him, sir, from behalf of you also. Then Mr. Ruturaj will continue his lecture.
Thank you, Gobarji, for arranging such a wonderful session. So I welcome Ruturaj to inspire our Janvi Jodhis as this new project to promote girls for higher education known as Vigyan Jyoti. So welcome once again.
Ruturaj Maswekar, and so currently I'm working as a research fellow at NIH, National Institute of Health. So it's a federal government or central government institute of US government, and so these are my disclosures. Before I start anything, I would like to say I don't have any financial disclosures regarding this presentation, and whatever views I'm going to present here, these are solely my views, nothing to do with my employer, my organization, or any committee which I'm part of. And just before going to presentation, these are my contact details. So if you have some questions, if we are not able to ask during this presentation, so basically my plan is I will complete in 30 minutes, and after that you will have enough time to ask questions. But if you don't get chance, this is my email ID and my phone number or WhatsApp number, so you can contact me anytime with any questions you have. So this is my career progression. So even before I go to my career progression, I would like to thank JNV Kagal or JNV Kolhapur, and special thanks to Chopre sir, because when I was in 12th, in Kagal, Chopre sir was my biology teacher, same like you, and he cultivated kind of interest in me regarding genetics, regarding biology or molecular biology. Then when I was in my 12th, I started thinking about okay, I should think about pursuing career in this field. So luckily, when I was in 12th, that time there was a course called BE Biotechnology, a Bachelor of Engineering Biotechnology at KID's College of Engineering started. So ours was the first batch. So after 12th grade, I based on my 12th marks, I got the admission there for the Bachelor of Engineering Biotechnology, which I completed in 2006. Then after completing my bachelor's, as ours was the first batch in BE Biotechnology, there were a couple of options available. Either I could have continued MTech in India. That time, there were few colleges like IITs or IIScs, not many current time. But I chose the option of going to US, and that's what purely because my brother, my elder brother, was in US, and he knew about US research and all that. So he was he told me, okay, it's better if you continue your career in US. So I gave GRE and TOEFL. So GRE is the entrance exam that you need to give to come to US. So I gave that GRE, then I got the admission in Louisiana Tech University, and I got the scholarship for my master's. So I completed my master's between 2007 to 2009. And during my master's, though it was in molecular biology, I started working more with neuroscience field. So when I'm going to my actual research, I will tell you what is the research I'm doing. So I thought, okay, now I did masters. After masters, so there was options I can go to industry or work there. But I thought I should continue more in research. So I joined VCU or Virginia Commonwealth University for PhD in neuroscience, which I completed between 2009 to 2015. And after that, I got job as a research fellow in National Institute of Health, which is kind of one of the premier institute in US, which is a central government institute. So it's one of the best institute in US. And I'm working here from 2015 as a research fellow. So this is my career progression, like what I did in my past and what I'm doing currently. So basically, currently I'm working on disease known as multiple sclerosis. It's also known as MS. So MS is a chronic inflammatory and demyelinating disease. What is meant by demyelinating? So maybe you know about the neurons, like which are present in our brain or in CNS or central nervous system, and they pass the signal like from cell to cell, or like basically neurons will control your body, like how your body is responding. But for neurons to work, there is a cover on the neurons which is known as myelin. So because of this myelin, neurons function faster. But during MS or multiple sclerosis, this myelin sheet get destroyed because of some factors. So once it get destroyed, like people have some kind of symptoms, like, and these are like number of symptoms which are given for a regular MS patient, and these symptoms differ from patient to patient. So 63% of patients will show numbness, or 40% patients will show vision problems, then 25% people will show weakness, and like that. Like, so it depends upon person to person. And when any patient comes to a doctor, they will see for the symptoms, and based on the symptoms, first they will decide like, okay, that patient has MS or not, and then further they will do other studies, like they will do MRI, or they do other like CT scan to look for exact like can they see in the CNS, like our brain, the markers of MS. Then if you see on the molecular level, like MS is like it's considered as a autoimmune disease. What is mean by autoimmune? Your own immune system acts your body. So basically your own immune cells, which are abnormally activated because of some unknown reason, they will attack and destroy your myelin sheet. So as I was explaining, this is for example, consider this is a neuron. So it will pass the message from cell body to the dendrite, and the myelins are very important, or this myelin cover is very important for the passing the message. And when this myelin cover get destroyed in MS, the signaling will be slower and it will cause the problems. And when actually I was preparing the presentation, I came across this website, like, because until now I didn't know what they call MS in Marathi. Though I'm like, I don't me Marathi bolu shakto, but I didn't know like what they call it MS in Marathi. So I thought like, is there any site which gives the information regarding MS in Marathi? So this is a very good site. It's called like myupchar.com. So you can go here and you can search, look for any disease you want to study for, and they have very good information in all languages. Like they have in Marathi, they have it in Hindi. So this particular I'm showing about the like MS in Marathi. Like they have given like what are the MS चे लक्षण काय आहेत, किंवा त्याच्यामध्ये आता काय ट्रीटमेंट काय चालू आहे, किंवा त्याची कारणं काय आहेत. It's a very good site, so you can look for that site. So this is like about the MS, but what exactly I am doing in MS? So previous studies have shown that, our lab only have shown that during MS, these cells known as astrocytes, which are the cells present in the brain or in CNS, basically these cells help neurons to work properly. And I don't know how much you know about the astrocytes, but these are the very important cells in CNS or brain. But during MS, the activated immune cells or abnormally activated immune cells activate these astrocytes. And once these astrocytes get activated, they're known to attack the myelin and call the myelin destruction. So our lab has proved that one. Okay, so this is kind of basic science. Okay, astrocytes get activated, they cause the demyelination, but how we can apply this for the patient use? So what we are doing the drug library screening. So basically what is meant by drug library screening? So we are testing the available drugs, the drugs which are approved by FDA for some other treatments. So we are testing these drugs in petri dish or in vitro to see how any drugs can block the activation of these astrocytes. And if we found any interesting drugs here, we'll use those drugs in clinical trial on patient to test by using those drugs, can it stop this progression, like from normal to MS patient. And maybe now you're hearing a lot about the clinical trials. Basically, clinical trial is a thing like, because this first part is more like experimental part, so you will find out the drug, but ultimately you need to test that drug in the patients. So when you are testing in a patient, you need to test like, does that drug is effective, does that drug is safe for the patients. So whenever anything like any drug, any vaccine, anything which comes before coming to the market, it will go through the clinical trial, and it's a very highly regulated process, and every drug has to go through this process. So basically, with our study, we have found some drugs, and we are testing those drugs in clinical trial. This is our clinical trial that going on, and we, in particularly in US, whenever any clinical trial that you do, you have to register with NIH, National Institute of Health, and you have to post all information regarding that clinical trial, because you need to be very open with your whatever study you're doing, because there are some ethical issues can be happen, or like some, like there are many issues like which happened in past. So government want everything should be fair and open. So this is our clinical trial that's going on right now. This is the name of the clinical trial, and it will give all information like when the clinical trial was started, what is the current status, like currently we are recruiting the patients or currently it's going on. It will give you the all information like which patients we are enrolling in the clinical trial, which are the drugs that we are using. So basically this drug dantrolene, which is came out of our research, which we found can block toxic astrocytes or induction of astrocytes. So currently we are testing in patients. Maybe you heard a lot about this drug, hydroxychloroquine, in case of COVID-19. Which is like which people try to use it for the COVID-19 also. So basically, this is a anti-inflammatory drug which is largely used for malaria. It's anti-malaria drug, but we are using it for the MS also because it's an anti-inflammatory drug, and some people tried it for the COVID-19 also. So basically, this is our clinical trial right now going on. So we are testing it on patient. So if we found it's quite useful, the next thing will like it will come as a drug for the MS. That's the further part. Like when I'm going to the life cycle of research, I will tell you like how exactly it move forward. So this is my research and like what I'm doing. So now the very important part, like what you can do to develop the career in research. So basically, I will talk about the research. Mainly, I will talk about the biological research or research in biotechnology. So the first thing that you need to do, 12th in science with biology, and I think you are doing it right now. After that, you can either pursue BTech, BE, or BSc in biological sciences. I call it biological sciences because it's like there are many fields in that. Like it can come like as molecular biology, genetic engineering, it can come as a biotechnology. There are many fields, like many areas under biological sciences. So I use word as a biological sciences. And in India, like I don't know much what is the current option, but I think it's MSCT. You have to go give MSCT and other entrance exams. Like I don't know the exam, but like there's some exam that you need to give to get the admission for bachelor's degree. If you want to do bachelor's in USA, you have to do either give SAT and TOEFL. So SAT is a kind of your entrance exam or real entrance exam, and TOEFL is the exam for the English, that because ours is like non-English country, so we have to give this exam to show your English proficiency. But I will not suggest this option for many of you because doing BS or bachelor's in US is a little bit expensive option, and you don't get much scholarships during bachelor's. So I will not suggest this for many people. But if you can afford it, it's a good option. Like you can do BS or bachelor's in US. Next, after completing bachelor's, you need to do master's. If you want to do in India, you can do MTech, ME, or MSc in biological sciences. For that, you need to give GATE, or there are some particular exams for a particular university. Other option, even after doing BE or BTech in India, you can go for MS, like MS in USA. And that's a quite good option. And for that also, you need to give GRE and TOEFL. So GRE is a exam for entrance test, and TOEFL is a test for English that is same test that either you have to go for BS or MS, you have to give that test. So I will prefer doing MS in US because it's a cheaper option, and most of the time you will get the scholarships. So you can, and by the bachelor's, like you will be kind of mature enough to know like what exactly you want to pursue. So I think like it's better. if I have choice, like I will go for masters in US than going for bachelor's in US. After masters, like I did my PhD. So either you can do PhD in India, like there's very good schools in India also. Like you can look for okay. So bachelor's in either you can do PhD in US also. So for PhD also you have to do GRE and TOEFL. The only requirement for PhD in US, you should have at least 16 years of education before going for PhD. So if you did 12th, that's 12 years of education. After 12th, you should do at least 4 years of education. So either you can do Bachelor's of Engineering, which is 4 years. If you do BSc, you have to do at least 1 year of MSc. So like at least 16 years of education is needed to go for PhD in USA. And of course, you have to give the GRE and TOEFL also. Then after PhD, like as I'm working as a postdoctoral fellow, so I'm doing my fellowship, so I'm doing further research. Either you can do that or you can work as a research scientist in industry, like pharma industry or biotechnology industry, or in government institutes. Or also you can start your own business also. So basically, like, I would like to give you the example, like one of my friend, like who was with me doing my bachelor's and master's. So he started his own company in Pune. Right now he's in Pune. And his company developed the kit for coronavirus testing. So his company's name is MyLab Discovery Solutions, and he developed, and his company developed one of the first kit for the coronavirus testing. So you can do something this kind of thing also. So you can start your own business and you can flourish in that. So there are a couple of options available, like even after doing your master's or bachelor's or PhD, and so just I would like to give you some like comparison, like how you can compare the research in India and US. See, like these are my own views, and it can differ from person to person. India is still it's a developing country, it's still growing, but still India has very good universities or institutes, and I think this is a very good website that or like link that you should go through. It gives a list of all institutes which are present in India currently. Like, and if you want to look research in biological sciences, you can look for according to that. If you are interested more in chemistry, you can look for that. Or you are interested in agricultural sciences, you can look for that. So based on your career interest, you can look for the institutes. For example, just one example, I mean, Indian Agricultural Research Institute. It gives their email address, their phone number. So if you want to get more information about them, that you can go to their website, you can look there, and you can talk with the people there, like, and ask them. You can tell them, okay, I'm in 12th grade, I want to pursue research in your institute, so how I should go forward. So this is a very important website at your stage, and you should go through that if you are interested in the research field. Then in US also there are a couple of options. Like there are very good universities in US, and if you go through this link, yeah,
just
yes, sir?
share your screen. Just click that pin.
Okay,
pin is there. Let it be larger.
Oh, it's larger.
The two screens are there. One is you are visible, and another website is visible. Just put a pin on that. Pin is down. Make it up.
Okay. Oh, pin. Okay. So, can you see it now?
No, larger.
Oh, it's larger. Anyway, like I will share this presentation with sir. So like afterwards also you can go through the you can click on the link.
It's working.
Yeah. So these are the universities available in, like, these are one of the top universities in US, like Harvard University, like my institute, like National Institute of Health, and even you can go on their particular websites and you can search there, like the people to contact and how you can get the information, like how we can apply for these universities. So these are the available options in US. And when you compare about the research funding in India and US, like US has a very big funding for the research, and I think it's the basic difference because India is a still developing country, so our country has to spend more on the other infrastructures like roads and other things. So they can't give much in the research, but it's still increasing like in India. So currently ours is at 66.5 billion USD per year, but in US is 511 billion per year. And so if you think about the current time, if you want to pursue the in research, US is a better option. But in future, India is still growing, and it will grow like very rapidly. So you have both options available. Then if you want to do a research career in research, you need to know about this. Like there's some pros and cons. Like there are pros and cons with every career. So the main cons with this time consuming, because if you think like I completed my 12th grade in 2012 and I completed my PhD in 2015. So like 2002 to 2015. So it's 13 years. So after 12th, I have to do bachelor's, master's, PhD, and I got my, you can say like first job in 2015. So it took me 13 years of education after 12th grade. So it's a quite time consuming process. So if you want to do research, you need dedication and lack of proper guidance. Because think of like if you want to do career in software, like there are a couple of people like who can guide you there, because you have a couple of relatives, couple of friends who are doing like career in that field. But there are very few people available who are doing career in research or they are a scientist. So there's lack of proper guidance for that, particularly in research field. But the pros, like it's a creative or path-breaking career, because there's a one saying in Marathi like "What आपली वही वाट असावी," like kind of thing, like "धोपट मार्ग सोडून." Like many people go on like a regular path, but if you want to go to research, it's a kind of new field. So and it will be like, then you will get respect, like because somebody hears that you are a scientist, you'll get a kind of good respect from the people. Job satisfaction, if you love your job, in any job you will get job satisfaction. But very important thing, you will get a mental satisfaction, because if you're doing something good in research, you'll think, okay, by doing this I'm helping entire humankind. Because for them, like currently I'm doing research, like we're doing a clinical trial. If we get that drug in the market, if you are a doctor, you will treat like 1,000 patients or like 10,000 patients throughout your life. But if I get a drug in the market through my research, that drug will be used by like 100,000 people, like lakhs of people. So you can think like you'll get kind of mental satisfaction. Okay, by doing research, I'm helping the humankind. And so these are some pros and cons you should know about the research. And if you think like we can handle these cons, then you are very welcome to do career in research. Then what are the qualities needed? Like if you want to do in research, first thing, you need to be curious. Like you need to be curious about each and everything. You need to be like a small kid. You should question each and everything. If you think, see anything, you should question it. Okay, why it is like that? So also you need to be very patient. You need to be persistent. These are very two important qualities, because in research you will not get the results in a single day. You have to work and you have to continue working on that. Some like many times you'll get failures, but you have to continue on that. So these are two very important qualities. You need to be patient. You need to be persistent. Critical thinking. You need to be critical about everything. You need to be detail oriented, because if you're doing any research, you need to know details about that, and you should be very detail oriented. You need to be creative, because in research you will create the new thing when only you will think out of the box, or you are creative. Communicative, because you need to communicate your research with the people. You need to communicate your research with other scientists, and with the communication only you can grow. So you need to be communicative. You need to be open-minded, because see, if I'm doing something by my own way, if some other scientist is telling me, okay, my way is wrong, and he suggests me other like better way, I need to be open-minded. If I say, okay, my way is the best, then how I can grow? Like if I'm going on just on my way, so it's better like you should be open-minded. You should listen to the people. You should accept their views also. Then free from bias. This is a very important thing. Like when you are doing research, you should not be biased to the thing. Because couple of days back, like there was one Ayurvedic company in India, like they launched a drug and they were calling it 100% cure for corona. But like as a scientist, I should not be biased to that. Like I should not say, okay, this is a drug from the India. This is a very good drug. I should be free of bias. I should question that drug also. Though it's from my country, I should question it. I should ask, okay, okay, this is the drug you are saying is a 100% cure. Where are the clinical results? How it works? You should ask this kind of questions. Then only you will be grow as a scientist. So these are the qualities, very important qualities you need as a scientist. This is a kind of life cycle of any research project. It's a very general, like it's changed from a project to project. The first thing when you think about any research, like even before like deciding your research topic, you have to just plan the research topic and then go and do some literature search. So for that, there's a very good website which is the PubMed. You can tell it's a kind of search engine. So and you can search on that, like for them, like if I search with you can search with the topic, you can search with the name of the author. For example, like if I search with my name, like I type my name or my surname, it will give you the papers or whatever research I published. So it will give you all the papers that I published. So this is a kind of very good search engine. It's called PubMed, and the link is there. So you can look for the link in any topic. Like you can search for the published work about that. And this is very important because if I want to do anything in a research, first I need to go and see back if some people have done it earlier or not. If somebody have done it earlier, why to waste my time and money on that, like to do the same thing? So you have to do some literature reading, and you have to find out like whatever you're thinking, is it new or is it improving the field at all? Then once you do that, then you have to decide your research topic, and then you have to develop your hypothesis. Because for example, like in our case, like we found that drug dantrolene. Our hypothesis is that like the dantrolene will work for multiple sclerosis. That's our hypothesis. But whenever you develop the hypothesis, think that like your hypothesis may go right or may go wrong, because ultimately you have to prove your hypothesis. So to prove your hypothesis, you have to do some experiments. So for that, you have to decide and develop the methodology. So again, you have to do literature search, because whenever you are doing some experiment, you have to go back and you have to find out how people are doing it. Even you have to based on your experience, maybe you have done that experiment previously, so you have to use your previous experience. And also you need to talk with other people, like other scientists. If somebody is doing that kind of experiment, you have to talk with them, you have to ask them like how they are doing, and can you apply that same technology in your lab. So that's why you need to be very communicative, you need to be open-minded, and then you have to perform the experiment. Like this is the main part. You have to do the research, you have to do the actual experiments. And when you are doing research, you need to be very unbiased, because I know like the human tendency is like that. Like when you have hypothesis in your mind, always you want to prove your hypothesis. Nobody want to disprove their hypothesis. So, but you need to be very unbiased in the research field. So once you get the results, you have to analyze them. You have to use some statistics analysis to see like whatever results you're getting, they are proving or disproving your hypothesis. And whatever results you get, you have to present your research or present your results. So you have to present in scientific conferences, you have to present in journals, the journals like publications that they show. So sometimes even news, like they will publish your articles. For example, one of this journal, they publish my work. This is on their first page of that journal. So this is like my research that they publish in the news. So if your research is very interesting and it's useful for the people, like news reporters will come to you and they will publish your research. At least in US, it's very common. Like even general media houses, they will publish your research or they will talk about your research. And then last one is very important: practical application. Because if you're doing some research and if you want to bring it in market, first thing you need to patent it, because you need to protect your research. You don't want other people to get the advantage of other people to earn money off your research. So you need to patent. You need to talk with investors. You need to talk to industry, because whenever you do research in a small scale or in a lab. If you want to bring it into market, you need to be on large scale, and you can't do it on your own. So you need the big money in that. So industry like biotechnology industry can help in that. And so this is the part, like mainly there's a very like latter part of the research. For example, like if our drug, like dantrolene, if it is showing very good results, then we'll talk with the industry. Like we'll see like is any industry or any pharma company interested in like bringing that drug to market and then develop the commercial product. Because when you are doing research, you don't think about more about the commercial thing. So commercial thing, you about think about money, you think about that many aspects which will come in commercial part of the commercial development. And very important one, like as professor told me, like it's about this is particularly for the girl students. So I would like to say, like currently, like there is a very I will say like it's a unsatisfactory part of like ladies or women in science. So according to UN, only like less than 30% of scientific researchers worldwide are women, and in India it's even like lower, it's only 14%. And if you think of Nobel prizes, like particularly in the biological sciences or in medicine, from 2000 like 1901 to 2018, only 12 women got Nobel Prize. On the other hand, like 204 males got Nobel Prize. So it's a very disproportionate field, and I don't think like women are lacking in talent or anything like that. They are equally talented. They can do equally good. Just they need to step forward and they need to come to the research field. And the qualities that I explained, like which you need for the science or you need for the research, the two main qualities: patient and persistent. And by nature, like ladies or women are more patient than men, or like they are more persistent. So I can tell from my own experience, my mom or my wife, they're more patient than me, or they're more persistent than me. So even it's a by nature. So as you are a woman, you should know you are like very up for the like this research field. So you should think about pursuing your career in research. So this is about my presentation. If you saw anything that you want to comment on, you are free. And as I told you, like you can ask me in Marathi. I can understand Marathi very well. I can talk in Marathi also. Or you can ask in Hindi. You can ask in English, whichever language you want. And as a scientist, it's a very good thing. Ask questions. So just ask questions.
Okay, girls. So please, you can start your mic singly and you can ask directly questions in any language. No problem. Yeah, you can type your question in chat box also. So questions are welcome, and definitely I will give prize for a good question on behalf of Vigyan Jyoti. Come on.
So even like as a scientist, like whatever I presented, just don't go with that. Like you should question each and everything. Whatever I presented with every, if you see like whatever data I am giving, I give the source for that. Like for example, like here I'm giving source. So you should go to that source. You should check like, okay, whatever I'm presenting is true. And as a scientist, it's very important. Like you should question each and everything. So questions is a main trait of a scientist. Like if you're a scientist, you should ask questions.
Oh. Come on, girls. प्रगति, हाँ जल्दी जल्दी करना है.
Sir,
हाँ.
Yeah, good.
sir, I want to pursue my career in
You
bio.
just introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. I am Shubda Gavde from Lakshmanrao Kirloskar, Palus.
Okay.
So, sir, I want to ask you that I am.
You can ask in Marathi.
Hello.
No problem.
मराठी में विचार चालेल ना, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही, मला मराठी येतं.
Sir, net connection is weak here.
Okay, okay.
Okay, तू टाईप करू शकतेस, like you can like तू तुझा क्वेश्चन टाईप करू शकतेस.
Chat
Sir can
मध्ये
ask
type
me
कर.
the same question.
ओके सर, मला माझं करिअर बायोकेमिस्ट्री मध्ये करायचं आहे, तर मग तुम्ही मला सांगू शकता का त्याच्यात काही म्हणजे ऑप्शन्स, अपॉर्च्युनिटीज काय काय आहेत?
Okay, so particularly like biochemistry, like for like in engineering, there's not any subject like a biochemistry engineering, but like this called like biochemical engineering. So if you want to do like even you can do B in chemical engineering, or you can do BSc in chemistry or BSc in biochemistry. So and if you want to go further, like there is a very good institute known as NCL, National Chemical Laboratory, which is in Pune. So you can look for there, like if you want during your bachelor's, you can work with NCL. I know some of my friends after being in biotechnology, they started working in with NCL on some of the NCL projects. So if you want to stay in India and if you want to pursue on that, like the NCL is a very good institute that you can look for. It's a national chemical laboratory, NCL. And even in the list that I given, like institutes in India, for example, like let me open my presentation.
मला येतं तुम्ही उलट घातलं
So if you go to particularly this website,
आता काम खराब झालं
so here you can see like if you are interested in like chemical engineering or chemical sciences. So there are particular institutes which you can look for the chemical sciences. Oh yeah, so the chemical sciences, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, which is in Hyderabad. Then so different kind of chemical sciences that you can look for. Like chemistry is also a wide field. So there are petrochemical, biochemistry, and like so based on the thing that I was telling you, National Chemical Laboratory, NCL. So you can go to their website. Oh, I think it's not opening from here. But you can go to their website and you can get information about NCL and what, because NCL also has some master level courses, like it's called like MSc in biochemistry, MSc in organic chemistry. So you can look for those. But first thing you need to look for like what you would like to do for bachelor's, because NCL don't have any bachelor level courses. So bachelor level courses you can look for B in biochemical engineering or BSc in chemistry, BSc in biochemistry. I think that will be helpful. And even if you want to get any information like for the courses in USA particularly, you can email me anytime, or you can I have given my WhatsApp number also, so you can WhatsApp me on that. But I will prefer the email. Like if your email is, I will prefer the contact through email.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. I think the Institute of Chemical Technology in Mumbai pursues the Bachelor in Chemical Technology, Chemical Engineering.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. You can write MSCT or go through the G. You will get it.
So it's you're talking about UICT, University of it's a UICT Mumbai, Matunga, Mumbai.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes.
Yeah, so they offer a B in biochemistry or BSc in biochemistry and B in chemical engineering. That's a really good school. Like if you get admission in UICT, it's a really good school. Like and like many of people, those who study in UICT, they come to US for masters. So it's a really good institute, UICT.
Yes, sir. Just I'm trying to get admission there only. My goal is fixed.
Okay,
See,
best
again,
of
like,
luck
I would
for
like
your future.
Yeah.
Any other question? Any girls? One more is there. What is the amount? Amount, I think it is number of females in USA working in research. Amruta. I think sir has given the slide, no? 40.
Yeah, so worldwide is 30%. In US, it's a little bit better. It's 45%. Like researchers are women. So in US, it's a little better than all other part of the world. Yeah, in India, it's not that good. Like it's just 14%. If you think population-wise, it should be 50-50.
Yeah.
And US is moving more towards that. And particularly in US, they have some special grants, like for them, like our institute, like NIH. They have some special grants which are only for the women researchers. So there are some grants only women researchers can apply for that. So just to boost the women researchers in the field, they are doing that kind of thing. So in India, I don't know exactly, but in maybe India also has some same kind of thing.
Okay, any other? One more, sir, please, to about the environmental science.
Okay, regarding environmental science, I know like there's one course known as Bachelor of Engineering in Environmental Sciences. So it's basically there's a course available in my own engineering college, KIT's College of Engineering. So you can look for that course. But like even in environmental engineering, you need to think about like which field you want to pursue afterwards, because some part of environmental engineering is more towards the chemical side. So it's how to manage the chemical waste. Some part of environmental engineering more towards the developing like petroleum from like other resources and like that. So you have to like when you're doing your bachelor's, you need to think about like what you want to pursue in future after your bachelor's, because during bachelor's you'll not get any specification. Like as I did B in biotechnology, during my biotechnology bachelor's, I studied genetic engineering, I studied molecular biology, I studied part of neuroscience, like that. Like I studied everything there. But when you go for master's or PhD, you need to go for a particular field. So that's why I chose neuroscience. For my interest was neuroscience. So you have to think same way. Like in environmental engineering also is a big field. Even again the link that I given, there they have some environmental engineering courses or environmental sciences courses. So you can look for those courses.
So one more question is there, Ruturaj. Two types of research, qualitative and quantitative. Difference.
Okay. There's another question. According to my knowledge,
Qualitative
there are
and
two types of research: qualitative and quantitative research. Please explain it further. Okay. So what is like qualitative or quantitative? There are two types of whenever you do some experiment, it's called qualitative experiment or quantitative experiment. So what is meant by qualitative experiment? So I want to see difference between A and B. So if I see, okay, A is different from B, that is a qualitative experiment. But how much different? That is a quantitative thing. Like for example, like okay, we are using two drugs, drug A and drug B. Do we want to see like, okay, these two drugs have different effects? Just I want to see about, say, general terms like qualitative. Okay, drug A is different from drug B, but how much different? Like, okay, drug A is curing 80% people, drug B is curing just 40% people. Then it's quantitative. So more of the research now is moving towards quantitative, because during quantitative research, basically you are doing the qualitative research also. So research is more moving towards quantitative one. In basic science, qualitative is important. In application science or in clinical science, quantitative is important. That's I can give it in general terms.
Okay, I think you got the answer, Sweta. Any other question? Okay, hurry up. From Kolhapur. कोल्हापूरवाल्यांनी विचारा.
जे कोणी कोल्हापूरचे त्यांना मला सांगायला आवडेल की लाईक माझं मूळ गाव मुरगुड, लाईक विच इज व्हेरी नियर टू कागल ऑन द लाईक कर्नाटका बॉर्डर. सो यू कॅन थिंक लाईक ते एक छोट्याशा गावात लाईक मुरगुड इज लाईक नॉट अ बिग टाउन, इट्स लाईक स्मॉल टाउन ओनली. सो इफ आय कॅन कम फ्रॉम देअर अँड आय कॅन रीच हिअर, डेफिनेटली यू कॅन.
जरा नवोदयाबद्दल सांग, हाऊ द नवोदया हेल्पिंग द चिल्ड्रन्स सो दॅट दे गेट मोटिवेटेड. आता येणारी मुलं काय करून राहिली ऋतुराज, दे आर नॉट सिरियस इन नवोदया, दे आर कमिंग जस्ट फॉर एन्जॉयमेंट. तुमची बॅच वगैरह खूब सीरियस होती. जरा जस्ट टेल देम एक्सपीरियंसेस, इसलिए आप लोग अभी कहाँ हैं?
सो लाइक मी मुरगुड म्हणून आलो. लाइक आई केम फ्रॉम मुरगुड, लाइक अ स्मॉल टाउन. I know like how was the education there. Like when you're in a small like village or like that, you don't get many opportunities. But when I came to Navodaya, like I got like at my time, like many teachers, they were from outside Maharashtra, even like very good teachers from Maharashtra also. So I got exposure to that. So I learned so many things, like, and particularly like I would like to thank Chopre sir, because Chopre sir, I think ours was the first batch when he came to JNV Kagal.
You were in 11th.
And I was in 11 that time. So until that time I didn't know much about genetic engineering, or I feel like I knew about biology, but not particular about like how biology can be used and how it can be application oriented. So sir cultivated like interest in me, or like in like many of my friends. So until that time I was thinking, okay, I will do it. But like during my 11th and 12th, I got interested more in the research, because this is a problem. Like in India, doctors, yeah, they are doing really great job, but doctors don't do research in India. In US, it's totally different. The doctors themselves, they do the research, and that's really important, because if I'm going to treat a patient, I should know what exactly that drug is doing. Like how many of you know like how aspirin works? Okay, we know like when I take aspirin, it will stop my headache, but how exactly it stop your headache? So if I am a doctor, like I should know that one, like how exactly it works. That's very important. So when I was in India, like there was clear cut. Okay, I should go as either a doctor, I should become a doctor, or I should become a scientist. Because in that time I didn't know like I can become a both. So I choose like to become a scientist, and that because Navodaya in my that journey, Navodaya helped me a lot. Like because I think like if I would not have been selected for Navodaya, I would not have been here. So you also like you are very privileged because you are getting exposure to all these things. Even like the thing is that like when I was in 12th, I didn't know much about how to go to US, how to pursue the career in research. Like now, like sir or like Navodaya is arranging these kind of things for you, so you're getting interaction with people. Like so these things also are really important, because as a 12th 12th grade student, you don't know much about the outside world. So you should interact with the people. Like you should if for example, like it's not only in science. If you're interested in the software engineering, you should interact with the people, those who are working in the software industry. You should ask them, okay, how I can pursue the career in that. What is the like? You should see like, are they satisfied with their job? Because you don't want to choose any career afterwards. You don't want to regret for that. So these types of things, like whenever you get chance to interact with people, you have to do that. And that's even as a scientist, it's really important. You should interact with the people. And now they give me like, because I know like till my 6th or 7th grade, I was very shy. I was not able to talk on stage. But like one of our teacher, Chaudhary sir, he was our housemaster that time, and he gave me confidence, like I can go on stage, I can talk on stage. And I studied like till 6th, I studied in like Jilla Parishad school. So I was not able to talk even in English, like not even a single sentence in English. But like now they give me that confidence, like okay, I can compete with the students, those who are very good in English also. So language is just one thing. It's not define your talent. So even if you're not able to talk in English, doesn't even when I came to US, for me it was very difficult to understand people here because they have different accent. So but like see, if you know your thing, like if you know your basics, if you know your research, nobody can stop you. So and basically now they gave me that confidence. So for you also it will be.
I still remember Ruturaj in 12th class. So when I teaching you genetics, inheritance, genetic principles. So we are discussing about color blindness, hemophilia. So immediately after the class, you came and consulted me. Sir, can it be curable in the future? I still remember that question.
So that's the thing, like,
During that time,